What is up, you beautiful gamers, and welcome back to Role-Playing James, this merry corner in the internet where we sometimes like to talk about video games. Everyone was a little bit skeptical when it comes to Square Enix Outriders because of Square Enix Marvel's Avengers. How well did Outriders held its ground in the looter shooter scene? Let's find out. But before we get into that, don't forget to subscribe if you hadn't already. Also, liking the video really helps the channel a lot. So, that being said, let's talk about the graphics of Outriders. We're in a time where it's quite hot to move on the polygons and have a huge overhaul from the past games. However, things like illumination, shadowing, particles, everything that builds the atmosphere, that's what's getting us a little bit further in that department. Outriders falls a little bit short in this one. Particles effects for skills and explosions are quite low detail. There's also some clipping on the 3D models around here and there, and by taking a closer look at the textures it can be plainly seen that they're just not that highly detailed. When you watch a cutscene, the plainness of the world, talking about illumination, that's hugely noticeable in contrast of the darker shadows for cutscenes against the grayness of the gameplay, like how the gameplay actually looks like. Another thing that's also highly noticeable is the walking animation. That you see in here, which ends up being just that little cherry on top of the cake in making the game look kind of MMO-ish. The walking animation feels like the characters just hovering while stuck on the running animation, instead of actually feeling that you're taking step by step against the ground. That all summed up gives us a game that's graphically speaking a little bit some years behind its time. Now onto the narrative. Let's talk about the story. You're an Outrider, a special military branch focused on being on the front lines of, like, to make things safer for those people behind you, for the folks at home at Earth, the world. Well, the Earth and the world got destroyed pretty goddamn bad, and so it is up to the Outriders to clear the way on a new planet for the folks on the main ships to establish themselves. As suspected, things go sour. Like always, a strange storm hits your force and somehow you gain inhuman powers that allow you to do stuff considered even to be divine. Now that's how the world is presented to you. When we talk about the narrative writing on itself, the mood is the one that you would expect of a noir novel. You're something of an anti-hero. The world around you has no blacks, there's no whites in here either, there's no good nor evil, but glimpses of grey around here. There's fighting between factions and there's not a defined line on who's right and who's wrong. The last of human race is just trapped without resources in a world that wants to kill them while they were trying to flee from a world that was actually being destroyed. So the appeal in here is to reach to the lowest of mankind. Fight, struggle, war. That's the main core appeal to you as a viewer. And this is like just strengthens the idea of how crestfallen everyone, in contrast of the somewhat optimism that some characters had when they were presented to you when they first arrived to this world, although it has some drawbacks as well in the narrative. Trying to build this gruesome realistic world, the writing goes way beyond the line of the proper setting and overly exaggerating key elements of the narrative. One of the most prominent being that everyone and everything around you that starts to have a slight build up around you, pardon the redundance, it dies. Just for the sake of it, there's no construction behind it. The main character and others as well, they act cynical in a straight, plain line that kill a possible synergy that could have potentially been built with this marvelous human desperate world. Now I don't know if this counts as a spoiler, but if you start to like a character then in the game, well, just don't. It's going to die, and there's not gonna be any narrative reason for it. It's just going to die because, yes, just because. Now, adding my personal opinion, you can actually maintain a grey, gruesome dark world filled with moral dilemmas and kill the characters, of course, as you wish, but to make it effective, those deaths, they have to be meaningful, impactful, and narratively designed to feel a purpose to make the writing richer. The main appeal in here might as well be just an excuse, like to kill them so that you know how gruesome and grumpy we are in this world. And moving on to sound,
We're lucky Seth shows up to fight them back sometimes, but only if it fits whatever the hell game he's playing. Hey, damn it.
You have no idea how bad it is, Outrider. We thought we escaped the apocalypse. We thought we could start over again here. But we were wrong. I was wrong.
Shira.
Do you know why I'm in charge? Because I'm the only officer left alive.
I don't understand. We're getting closer to the signal. The only way it could be
The soundtrack drinks a whole bunch of what we can see in Gears of War, with these thunderous, orchestrated yet dark notes that go hand in hand with the gruesome whole build that the Outriders are trying to build. This is made, of course, by People Can Fly, so it would, of course, make sense that they drink of some of the previous project that they were in the past time before. Well, this kind of synergy that I was actually talking about, it really helps to keep the line defined on the specific tone on the game. Now, this is also attempted to do in voice acting as well. Everything has to be grey, grumpy, and gruesome, and this is seen like here as well. Everyone speaks like this, every single character in the game. It's just a plain character, simple, straightforward, without roundness around them. Yet, where Outriders outdoes itself, its own gameplay, them is the damn thing damn fun. Let's talk about the mechanics first. Essentially, we know that this is a looter shooter. Now let me add a little bit of a personal bias in here because it's begging to freaking come out. I hate the character visuals for the loot. I've already gone through the main quest and did a little bit of grinding in here on the endgame, but you're gonna look shitty throughout the course of the cinematics that we all love to see with our fashion Barbies. It sucks, actually. But, you know, it might actually be different for you. You might actually enjoy looking like a damn vagabond around there, like, beating baddies. Anyways, now, you might agree, you might disagree with me on this one, but them, son, are those them armors uglier than a kick on the ball sack. Now, with that out of my system, the game's just so damn fun. Gunplay feels right. The core of everything is that you choose a class, and that's going to define the overall gameplay experience that you have. Now, there's nothing revolutionary about this, and we have seen some of these mechanics already in the past, but there's such a huge personality in this one that just works damn well. Essentially, the class that you choose is the way that you're going to be playing. The way you regenerate a life is by keeping that playstyle. For example, a Trickster benefits of a fast-paced close-range combat, running and hitting and healing, and being this force moving around the battlefield, and it necessarily needs to be this way because this is how you keep surviving and healing, while a Devastator, for example, can just stand in one place and deal as much havoc without having to run through the battlefield like an overpowered Speedy Gonzalez. There's also a healthy variety of weapons that act as a catalyzer between you and your playstyle, and they can be quite restrictive as well. A Trickster will never benefit from using a sniper rifle because you, like previously mentioned, you heal by fighting in close range, while a Technomancer gains nothing by using shotguns. Although, never say never to a community. I would love to see what kind of amazing builds people come up. Imagine the Trickster Sniper, the Techno Tank. I definitely see it as something happening since there's gonna be damn sexy ass builds. Oh yeah, my boys are gonna experiment a whole lot. Yeah, sorry, pardon me, I like builds a lot, I get excited, you know. Anyways, that leads to endgame mechanics and builds. Essentially, you go through the main campaign, which has lots of things to do, mind you, secondary activities, contracts. The main thing is to go through a level, kill a wave of enemies, proceed and repeat. Each class has 3 branches to select a specific passive bonuses and some active skills that can be affected by mods. Those are the ones that define the endgame. There are 30 character levels. Once you reach level 30, you start farming for weapon mods. These alter your active skills, giving them different bonuses that allow you to build different stuff. It can also add weapon statuses like fire, poison, ice, the usual stuff we all love. When you reach level 30, the goal is to get better gear to keep progressing on the 15 levels of difficulty that the game offers to you, and also expeditions, and have their very own difficulty tiers. I'm glad to say enemies are not bullet sponges in here. The premise is the same you would have on Diablo. If it takes you too long to kill enemies, you're not on the level difficulty you're supposed to. Lower it and gear up until you're able to kill enemies as fast as possible. And please do me a favor, the game has this little thingy auto selected thing on the option screens. Well, it will like level up the thing as you progress. As you get like better levels, turn that thing down and just play it on normal, on hard. Believe me, you're going to have such a pain in the ass by the game automatically raising the difficulty for you. That being said, gear up when you feel like you're taking way too much. Gear up until you're able to kill enemies as fast and smooth as possible. On expedition, also that increases your chances of getting better gear. Clear faster the levels, better gear that you will get. And the rarity of the gear is the same color palette we're so accustomed now. Grays, green, blue, epic, purple and yellow legendary. The rarer the gear, the better mods you can attach to them on the crafting menu. Resources are nice, narrow and simple. You have scraps that work as a game currency, and then iron, leather, titanium and anomaly shards to upgrade and play with your toys. Simple yet effective. That being said, it's time to add my personal bias, my personal opinion and recommendations on stuff. Remember that a review is never an opinion, but rather a critical analysis of everything that you're going to get as a final product when you're showcasing it to the consumer. Graphically speaking, the game leaves way too much to be desired for a game for a company of this caliber, and the narrative, while interesting approach, is misled by poor handle of the elements that you're writing about. It's such a wasted opportunity because it had some strong foundations. However, goddamn, is Outriders damn fun, dude, to play. It's damn fun to play. There's way too much personality on the combat system that also feels so damn nice, comfortable and ergonomic on the gunplay. So, having those things in mind, if you, pardon the redundance, don't mind a plain average looking game, both visually and narratively speaking, and just want to satiate the thirst for a good looter shooter that will keep you hours and hours grinding for gear, then I say go ahead and buy the damn thing. Yet, if you're one of those that like to have a top quality produced game in a scope where the narrative is marvelously on par with the visual and sound presentation, then you will not find it. You will not find any of that in Outriders. That being said, that was RPJames with you with my review of Outriders. Remember to subscribe if you wanna see more RPG stuff and like the video, since that makes merry old James really damn happy. I'll see you beautiful, goddamn beautiful people in the next one. Stay safe, stay awesome, stay beautiful. I'll see you later.